Ayurveda is one of the oldest medical system in the world. And when you think about the basic principles of Ayurveda, the basic concept or the basic principles is the 5 elements. If we look on our fingers, we have the 5 elements on each finger: the ether, the air, fire, water and earth. These 5 elements and its properties and its permutations and combinations are the world, what we see with our 5 senses. Any of the element is increased in our body, then that leads into a symptom or disease. So for example, each element is connected with one of the senses. If we look at the computers for a long time, the fire energy will increase and through our eyes. So you can get a burning sensation in the eyes. The eyes can be dried up. So you see, element and a sense have a combination. The same way is the sound and the ear. If there is a sound pollution, automatically you will get a tinnitus. So these 5 elements are combined, and the most common terms in Ayurveda, the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the 3 doshas or the 3 bioenergies or 3 functions. You can call in different ways, but it is 3 doshas are in our body. For example, the first dosha, Kapha, the earth and water element, is situated in our head up to chest. We need this one because the brain functions or the stability of our body all are depends on Kapha principles. So if the Kapha is increased in our body, automatically the earth and water principles are increased, and that makes to different symptoms in the Kapha house, what we say. It can be a water retention, it can be a polyp, nasal polyp, it can be a sinusitis, it can be a congestion in the sinus areas, coryza, so many Kapha related symptoms. When you look in the modern medicine, you see that the structural increase or the word hyper, that means hyperthyroidism, hyperlipidism, hyperglycemia, hypercholesterol. So all this the material increase, you can correlate with the Kapha in Ayurveda. So what we need, we have to reduce these materials, the earth and water. You see, the plant is opposite. The root, the potatoes, the carrots, the beetroot, all are Kapha, that is inside the earth. So all the root vegetables are more Kapha. So if you eat root vegetables, you increase your Kapha principles. So Ayurveda tells you avoid the root vegetables, then you can reduce your Kapha principles. You have to eat what is more in the air, like the salads, like the leafy vegetables, then you can reduce your Kapha. If you eat all the milk products, cooling items, then also the Kapha will increase. So you eat what is opposite to Kapha, that means which are more spicy, like pepper, ginger, all the spices with your food items, then you can again reduce your Kapha. So this is one of the basic principle in Ayurveda, that you have an increase of Kapha, you take the opposite part of the plant and you spice it up. So hyper, what we see in modern medicine, hyper, is most of the diseases are under Kapha principles. The second part is Pitta, that is the fire and water principle. It's a fluid fire. We have fluid fires are alcohol, benzene, petrol, enzymes, hormones, all these are fluid fires, and we need that here. That's why we have a good digestion. It's a representation of sun. So if the Pitta principle is increased in our body, we get a lot of symptoms from the fire element. That means all the burning sensation, all the redness, or we say in modern medicine, the inflammation, or the itis. So many diseases, what we explain in modern medicine, the itis comes under the Pitta. So we have gastritis, we have dermatitis, we have polyarthritis, we have cervicitis, we have sinusitis, we have so many diseases which having an itis in the end, and that is mostly under Pitta diseases. So what we have to do, the nutrition, we have to reduce the heating energy from the food items. So if you eat a lot of chilies, lot of spices, lot of carrots, tomatoes, mushrooms, all these food items will increase our inflammation. But you take a jasmine tea, you take a green tea, you take a vegetable which are more green in nature, you automatically reduce the Pitta principles. The third one is the Vata. It is the element air and ether, these two principles. It's a movement, and this is mainly represented or located in our colon, the hip joints and the legs, because we are moving with this. The plants are not the roots, the leaves and what is growing up, that is the Vata principle. So if you take again salads, a lot of salads, what happens? We increase our Vata. Salads are good for Kapha but not good for Vata diseases. So you have to take again the root vegetables for Vata, which are earth and water. And Vata is also a cold principle. So you take a warming, you cook the vegetables, you put spices. So you see, what I am telling is, these three principles are connected with the five elements and the five senses: the ears, the skin, the eyes, the tongue and the nose. So any of the disease is increased, you can easily diagnose from one of the sense organs which one is having a extra threshold. So the body is in three compartments like the Kapha, Pitta, Vata principles, and it has a connection with the five senses and the five elements. With the nutrition, with the several movements, exercises, yoga asanas, or the mental calmness by meditation, like the yogic pranic pranayamas, all these different aspects of Veda, Yoga, Ayurveda, which can bring back into a balance of the body and mind. So in Ayurveda, what we say is Ayurveda brings the patient or the illness into medical wellness, and yoga brings from the medical wellness into the stillness. So the basic concept, the three doshas and its balance. Now we go back a little bit more further into the Ayurvedic principles. Whatever we eat, that is digested by the Pitta, and Vata expels some of the waste products, and also that will be absorbed into the tissues. So Ayurveda tells 7 tissues in the body. This is one of the very interesting part of Ayurveda, because there is a what you call transformation from one tissue to the next tissue. 7 tissues, and each one tissue is a development or a transformation from the first to the next. So whatever we eat, that is digested by the Pitta, and comes a fluid, a juice of your food. When we say in Sanskrit, rasa, the juice of your food. And what is the waste product? We say mala. That's why we also in English we have malady, malnutrition, malfunction. You see even the connection with the most of the Italian, German, English words comes from this mother of languages, from the Sanskrit. So we have the waste products, the mala, and we have the tissues, what is called dhatus. So the first tissue, the first dhatu is rasa, the juice of your food. Then the next one is blood, rakta. Third one is mamsa, the muscles. Fourth one is meda, the fat. Then the asti, the bones. And the sixth one is majja, the bone marrow. And the shukra, or the what you call the immunity, you can say, or the sperm and ovum, for what is for the next generation. Even the genetics are in the 7 tissues. So from one tissue to the next tissue, it is moving our nutritional juices. If your first tissue is perfect, you are healthy. But if there is a toxin inside, it produces some symptoms. For example, if we eat some bad food, something is wrong. Even the cook, or even the food, something is not in a proper way. And when you eat something, such kind of food, what happens? The body expels first. So the first expulsion is the vomiting. So you look the Ayurvedic principles, the first disease is starting with a vomiting. Even you look in our childhood, you can see that the child has vomited first something. But what we do, we go to the doctor, we take some tablets and we suppress this. So the body tries to expel through that next area, and that is the diarrhea. This also we suppress with another doctor. First one we were with the general medicine, and now we go to a gastroenterologist and he will give some medicines, and that we will suppress this one. So we are not allowing to expel these toxins. We sometimes subsides, or sometimes we suppress these toxins. In Ayurveda, toxins is called ama. It can be an endotoxin, it can be an exotoxin, it can be mental toxins. Anything which is not fully digested, we say in Sanskrit, ama. So this first lodges and it expels as vomiting or as a diarrhea, and then it will be absorbed into the first tissue. So Ayurveda explains one of the interesting disease, the first disease or the father of disease, we call as jwara or fever. So we studied in Ayurveda that if you have some fever, you are almost near to health. But we never allowed. We again take some paracetamols or any kind of temperature regulating medicines, and the toxins are pushed into the next tissue, that's the blood. So when you have toxins in the blood and you are not changing your nutrition, you are again producing the toxins. Blood reacts, the skin is connected with the blood, so you get a expulsion of toxins to the skin. Then you are diagnosed as neurodermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, all kind of skin diseases. You have changed any lifestyle? You have changed any nutrition? No. You take the same kind of nutrition. And the doctor will give you a cortisone cream, a mask of cream. What happens? Again, the symptoms are subsided, but not the disease. And you increase again the pitta, the toxins in the blood by taking mushrooms, tomatoes, beetroot, fish, red meat. All these things again increases this toxins in the blood. So the next issue is mamsa, the muscles. So now you don't have a vomiting, you don't have a diarrhea, you don't have a fever, you don't have a skin disease, but the disease is shifted into the next tissue, that is the mamsa. Now you have a tumors, myome, or some kind of what you call even the nodes in the thyroid. No? Everything is possible. Or a lymph node enlargement. What you do? Go to a surgeon, take it out this lymph nodes. Again a symptom removal. Each tissue, we say in Ayurveda, is about 10 years. So the first tissue, fever and all kind of small diseases are in your first to 10 years. All the blood related diseases, acne vulgaris, skin diseases, menstruation problems, all these things are up to 20 years. It can continue, but it is more dominant in this age. And when you are coming into 30 years, you have the myome, fibroids, polyps. Okay, you removed with the surgeon. Now it come into your fourth tissue, your 40 years. Now your weight is increased, your cholesterol is increased, you have diabetes. The treatment goes on. We have for each tissue, there is a doctor. So now the fat liposuction or cholesterol, anti-cholesterol medicines. But the food you are continuing. You are taking again cheese, again fish and meat. So this process of disease is continuing from one tissue to the next tissue. So fifth one is the bones and joints. And now you are 50 years. So now the doctor is diagnosing you the osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, polyarthritis, everything with arthro, the joints. You see, never a disease will come in one day. It is a process. In modern medicine, we don't have this process because we don't have a tissue like a transformation. But in Ayurveda, it is very clearly explained the 7 tissues, the 7,000 symptoms, and the 7,000 plans for each tissues. So when you, again the fifth tissue, we have what you call, we have a rheumatologist, you have orthopedic surgeon. Again, we are reducing the symptoms, not removing the root cause. Now we are in the 6 tissues, the diseases or the ama, the toxins are reached in the 6 tissues, the majja, the central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord. What happens? Now after osteoporosis or arthritis, now your toxins are into your central nervous system. The simple one is forgetting. You are forgetting where you kept your spectacles, or you are automatically slowly diagnosed as Alzheimer. So neurological problems, multiple sclerosis. Slowly the toxins reaches into the 7th tissue, which is your immunity, which is your chromosomal genetical informations. This can pass even into the next generation. Even you get a child, if you are married and if you are getting a child, whether you have done any cleaning treatment for your tissues? No. So the passing of the genetical information is very easy with this toxified tissues. In olden time in India, most of the well-rich royal families were doing this cleaning treatment to get a new generation. Nowadays we have the generations are diseased with chromosomal anomalies. So many diseases are available now, produced in different countries now. So 7th tissue is immunity. So your 7 tissues are now toxified because you have not changed your nutrition, your activities, you are still following the same kind of food, and you never done a cleaning treatment for your tissues. You always suppressed. The civilization what we have, the modern civilization, we have only suppressed and into the deeper tissues. We don't have a fever now, we don't have a diarrhea now. We have always a multiple sclerosis, rheumatoid arthritis, Alzheimer, you see, the disease are going in the deeper tissues. So when it reaches into the immunity, 7 tissue, even infertility diseases, the doctor will tell you that it's an autoimmune disease because all your 7 tissues are reacting against you. So you are completely with virus, for example. No, not virus, I'm just joking. It's like the toxins. No? Toxins are in your tissues. Malam hi bala, Sanskrit. The mala, the waste product is your strength. How it happens? From the bacteria and virus? No, it's not the microbiology what we talk in modern medicine. It is your body is toxified. Nowadays in Europe or also in India, we tell I have allergy to apple, I have allergic to plants and flowers and this. No, it is your body is diseased. That's why you are reacting. So you have to clean your body, then you will not have an allergy. It's a simple logic. This is what Ayurveda explains in daily routines, seasonal routines, so many things what you have to do daily, which food you have to take, which lifestyle you have to manage. No? So this process of disease from one tissue to the next tissue, up to the 7th tissue, along with the mental stress, makes a person as patient. And what is the modern opportunities we have for this disease, how to clean this one? We don't have such things, but we have an answer in Ayurveda from the age-old medical system from India, which is a philosophical, spiritual and a medical science. And that is what Panchakarma. So Panchakarma, that is one of the core treatments in Ayurveda. So as I told you that the toxins push us into the deeper tissues, we need a system, we need a detoxification which can taken back from the tissues, back into your gut, the gastrointestinal tract, and to be expelled out. So there is a simple explanation of Panchakarma. So you see the 7 tissues are toxified, maybe only the first tissue, maybe only the second tissue, the first and second or the third, it depends on the disease. So we analyze with the diagnosis in which tissue the toxins are, with the symptoms. And you give a plant or a plant product or a combination of plants which will mobilize the toxins, the ama, from that particular tissue. That's also very interesting because each tissue has a plant or a plant combinations. When you talk about blood, blood is red. So for cleaning the blood, one of the best fruit is grapes. So if you take grapes, red grapes, then that's a cooling effect and also cleanses the blood. So skin diseases are from pitta, which is connected with the blood, and you have draksha or grapes. Another one is turmeric. It's one of the interesting spice which we usually use in our food items, even to detoxify our food items. Even we cook with turmeric. So that's another plant which are effectively working in this blood tissue. So if you talk about muscles and a dystrophy of muscular dystrophy, even Ayurveda explains for eating meat, but you can also take the vegetables which are like a fleshy vegetables, like brinjal, like jackfruit, no, like pear. No? So always there is a theory of signatures, which tissue you have less or more, and take the plants which are opposite to that. So in the bone tissues, you see osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, so many painful diseases in the bone. So what Ayurveda explains for the 5 tissue diseases is one is Rasna, Galgant, Guggulu, or bamboos, even the moringa, what I explained previously, all these plants are having an effect on the fifth tissue, which looks like a bone. So you see, these seven tissues, even the seeds and nuts are affecting in the 6 tissues and 7 tissues. So every disease, every tissues has a connection with the plants. So we will give, after diagnosis, one of the plant or a combination of plants to mobilize the toxins from the particular tissues. The second part of the treatment is several oil or herbal powders treatment externally to mobilize again, which we commonly say as Ayurveda Purva Karma. In Europe it is called as Ayurveda massage, but it's not a massage, it is a mobilization of toxins from the tissues into the gastrointestinal tract. 2 to 3 weeks of this external treatments and an internal Ayurvedic herbal decoctions, combinations of plants as powders or tea. The toxins reaches into one of the compartment of this Kapha Pitta Vata. So which area the toxins have reached, we expel it out as vomiting, an induced vomiting, a purgation, an induced purgation, or a rectal treatment, that means medicines into the anorectal canal. Usually we say as enema, but it's not only enema, it is an anorectal canal, medicines into the anorectal canal for the Vata. So Vamana as vomiting, Virechana as purgation, and the Vasti as the anorectal treatment with the medicines, plus all the sinuses and also the head region cleaning, what we say is Shirovirechana, and sometimes also the blood cleaning, that is called as bloodletting treatment. So these 5 main treatments are called as Panchakarma. It's a detoxification which is not seen in any kind of medical systems. We always only suppressed, but the cleaning is not there. So back to Panchakarma. Panchakarma is a treatment protocol, mainly depends on 3 different stages. One is a detoxification, internally giving medicines. Second one is an external treatment to mobilize the toxins into the gastrointestinal tracts. And third one is a cleaning of these toxins. And after that we need a life management. You have to change your nutrition, you have to change your exercise pattern, you have to change your sedentary lifestyle. So many things are there. There's a follow-up, a lifestyle management. So the basic principles of Ayurveda with Vata, Pitta, Kapha and the 7 dhatus, the tissues and the cleaning treatments, all includes in the medical part of Ayurveda. The production of the toxins is because of our low digestive fire, Agni. So every disease Ayurveda explains, even it is with Vata, Pitta, Kapha, it is because of the low digestion. We eat so many things without a proper timing. We have only appetite, sometimes no hunger. So this inability to digest, either it is a mental toxins or a physical toxins, that will be pushed into the tissues. See, each disease is a transformation from one tissue to the next tissue. Deeper the tissues, heavy the disease. Less the amount of toxins is the small the disease. High amount of toxins, chronic the disease. Ayurveda also explains there is no need of naming the disease. Vigaro nama kushalo. There is no need of naming a disease. You just look how much toxins are there in a person and in which tissue it is lodged. Take the plants, calculate this one, which plants should be combined, and take it back into the gastrointestinal tracts. In one way, Ayurveda is not a medicine, it is a mathematics. It's a calculation. Even with the 0 to 9 numbers, we make almost all the numbers. It's the same way is the Vata Pitta Kapha and its permutations and combinations with the ama, with the toxins, is the infinity of diseases. So we need a lifestyle, we need a Panchakarma, what can bring back the toxins. Even the 5th tissue toxins, when you bring it back with a Panchakarma, it will reach us into the 4th tissue. Sometimes it can happen, the old disease symptoms can reappear. Maybe from 4th to 3rd tissue, it can appear. The last some years before there was an itching on the skin that can be reappear. In one way it is a prognosis because you are bringing back the toxins. In one of the day, maybe if you are getting a fever, I say that the old fever, what you have suppressed, is coming back. I am almost near to my health. So Panchakarma and the disease process is opposite. Disease process is from 1 to the 2 to the next tissues, and the Panchakarma is from 4 to 3 to 2 to like the going back.